Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, October 4th. Today we will have much stronger winds across the Great Basin as a cold front sweeps across the north. So this will bring an increase in southwesterly winds in the area in brown, where we will see gusts over 35 or 40 miles per hour. Relative humidity will also range between 12 and 20%. There could be a few isolated showers in the far northern part of central Idaho tonight, but really nothing significant is expected with dry and windy conditions. Also, breezy winds, which won't be quite as strong, will occur over parts of western and northern Utah with dry conditions. As the cold front moves through on Saturday, we will see those winds confined to the eastern side of the Great Basin, and then winds will pick up again in central Idaho on Sunday and over parts of western Wyoming, although relative humidity will be a bit higher than today. Otherwise, warm temperatures will continue with above normal temperatures across the Great Basin. No precipitation or lightning in the last 24 hours. And in the last 24 hours, we had light initial attack with 4 fires reported with 2.9 acres, but we did have one new and emerging, more significant fire on the Boise called the Valley Fire. Otherwise, there was continued growth on our large fires. Over the last 7 to 14 days, we've continued to see very dry conditions across the Great Basin. ERC percentile map shows that well, with ERCs continuing to rise, and we are seeing ERCs above the 90th percentile in many areas of eastern Nevada across Utah and into western Nevada and parts of Wyoming, and even increasing into central Idaho. Some of our ERC charts in areas that we do have those large fires up in the Salmon Chalice, ERCs are near records for the time of year, and as you can see, have been steadily increasing for the last 1 to 2 weeks. Similarly, in southwest Idaho, where that Valley Fire is, we do have ERCs near the maximums for the time of year as well. Looking at our satellite image from this morning, you can see the trough of low pressure approaching the northwest coast, which is what will push the cold front through the area, so those prefrontal southwest winds will increase out ahead of it across Idaho, Nevada, into Wyoming and Utah today. As we move into later today, that cold front will push into central Idaho, so you can see our large area of high risk for these stronger winds and low relative humidity across all of southern and central Idaho, Wyoming, and parts of northern Utah and northern and western Nevada. Relative humidities today will be lowest in the south. However, winds won't be quite as gusty there, but where we will have those stronger winds, relative humidity will range anywhere from about 12 to 15 or 20%. And you can see from the wind gust map here on the right, the strongest winds will be across central Idaho, down into northern and western Nevada, and over western Wyoming, where those gusts will easily exceed 35 or 40 miles per hour. In many areas could even see gusts over 45 miles per hour. So a very significant cold front with these stronger winds in areas we already have large fires, and we could see new and emerging fires today. Temperatures today will remain quite warm and well above normal, with most valley areas reaching the upper 80s and mountain areas in the low to mid 70s. You can see from the precipitation possibilities here on the right, we could see a few of those skirting showers in central Idaho, but really mostly north of our large fires, so no relief for our large fires. Much of that precipitation will remain to the north. As we move into Saturday, that cold front pushes well to the east. We do see high pressure rebuilding, but we will still see some gusty winds on the heels in parts of western Wyoming and northern Utah, where we continue to have large fires in those areas. Relative humidity will increase from today, so we will see relative humidity more in that 15 to 20% range in western Wyoming and northern Utah with those stronger winds. Winds won't be quite as strong as they will be today, but we still will see gusts over 30 or 35 miles per hour. We will get a little bit of relief in areas where we have large fires with respect to relative humidity on Saturday and significantly lighter winds, but some pockets still on the Salmon Chalice and northern Sawtooth still dropping below 20%. Temperatures on Saturday, as the cold front swings through, we will see a significant drop in temperatures. Temperatures will drop 10 to 15 degrees or more over central Idaho into western Wyoming, so that will certainly bring some added relief there. Otherwise, dry conditions. On Sunday, the ridge starts to rebuild. We still have some breezy west winds in parts of central Idaho and western Wyoming, so we do have some high risk for those areas and areas that we have ongoing large fires. Otherwise, looking at the relative humidity, you can see generally in that 20 to 25 mile per hour or 20 to 25% range, and wind gusts, although they will be picking up out of the southwest in central Idaho and western Wyoming, wind gusts mainly in the 20s to maybe around 30 miles per hour. So certainly nothing anywhere near as strong as what we'll see today. Temperatures will start to rebound a bit and increase about 5 to 7 degrees or so from Saturday, with highs in the upper 70s in the valleys up north and upper 60s to low 70s in the mountains. And then we continued with those above normal temperatures across Nevada and Utah with dry conditions. 3-day precipitation, obviously any showers we see in the northern part of the central Idaho mountains, very limited. So again, not expecting any relief from precipitation up there, just with respect to some cooler temperatures and slightly higher relative humidity. As we move into early next week, we have ridging over the Great Basin with a weak trough off the west coast. So significant fire potential remains moderate with continued dry conditions and warm temperatures. Do have a slight or weak trough moving into Southern California going into early next week, but for the most part, still expecting dry conditions across the Great Basin. You may see winds start to pick up around midweek as this trough moves into the northwest coast. Otherwise, still moderate fire potential with, again, not really expecting any precipitation. You can see from the 7-day total precipitation, if we do get a few spotty showers from really more cloud cover moving in next week, they would be in Utah. Again, if we do see anything, it would be very isolated, not really expecting any relief from moisture going through the next 7-day period. Otherwise, the 8 to 14-day outlook still shows warm temperatures, but trying to indicate some above normal precipitation. However, I would take this with a grain of salt. Computer models or weather forecast models have been very different day to day. So right now it's looking like a little bit on the drier side for this period, but we'll continue to monitor that. Our models definitely struggle when patterns change, reintroducing some changes in weather. So we'll see how this plays out, but right now still not looking overly wet. That ends the webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.